Hello, my students of third prep. I wish that all of you have got good marks in the previous semester, and I wish all of you the best of the luck in the second semester. Today we are going to start our first lesson in your algebra syllabus, which is solving two equations of the first degree in two variables, algebraically and graphically. How can you solve two equations of the first degree by algebra and by graph, and to verify each of them by the other? Let us start solving two equations of first degree in two variables, graphically and algebraically. First of all, if you have a rectangle of perimeter 30 centimeters, what are the possible values of its dimensions? All of you know that perimeter of a rectangle is length plus width times 2. And if we let these dimensions to be x and y, then perimeter of the rectangle equals x plus y multiplied by 2, which is equal to 30. Then by dividing both sides of the equation by 2, or finding half the perimeter of the rectangle, so x plus y is going to be equal 15. In this case, we can find either x or y. How? If we find x, so x equals 15 minus y. And if we find y, so y equals 15 minus x. Then, what about the dimensions? If y equals 10, then x is 15 minus 10 to obtain a result as 5 centimeters. And we can say that the dimensions will be 10 centimeters and 5 centimeters. But if y equals 8, what about the other dimension? Yes, it is x equal 15 minus 8 to obtain a result as 7 centimeters. And we can say that the dimensions will be 8 centimeters and 7 centimeters. How many possible values for x and the equivalent values of y can you obtain? Infinite number of solutions. So in this case, we can say that there are infinite number of solutions for the value of x and the value of y to obtain a perimeter as 30. Then, how to solve equation of the first degree in two variables graphically? Let us have the first example. Find the solution set of the equation x plus 2y equals 4 graphically. First of all, to draw any equation, you must have order pairs for the values of x and y, which are satisfying the equation x plus 2y equals 4. So we are going to let some values for either x or y. Then let y equals 0. Then x equals what? It is 4 minus 2 times 0 by substituting in the equation to obtain a result as 4. And in this case, we can say that the first order pair is 4 and 0. Then, by substituting for y equals 1. So x equals 4 minus 2 multiplied by 1 to obtain a result as 2. Then we can say that the second order pair will be 2 and 1. What about the value of x when y equals 2? When y equals 2, x equals 4 minus 2 times 2 to obtain a result as 0. So the third ordered pair will be 0 and 2. you can obtain more and more ordered pairs. But the least number of ordered pairs you have to find so as to draw this relation graphically is 2 solutions. I am going to use always 3 solutions so as to be sure that my straight line is plotted graphically correct. So we are going to plot this graph for the points 4 and 0, 2 and 1, and 0 and 2. How? Like that in front of you. There are infinite number of solutions belonging to the straight line. Then try to plot the graph. It is 4 and 0, 2 and 1, 0 and 2. Try to join them all together. You are going to obtain a straight line. As you have studied the previous term, when it is a linear function, so it is represented graphically by a straight line. Then let us have another example. Find the solution set of the 2 equations x plus 2y equals 4 and y equals 2x minus 3 graphically. As x plus 2y equals 4, when x equals 0, try to substitute for the value of x in this case equals 0. Then 0 plus 2y equals 4. Then 2y equals 4, and we are going to obtain a result for y as 2. Then the first order pair will be 0 and 2. What about the value of y when x equals 1? By substituting, 1 plus 2y equals 4. So 2y equals 3, and in this case we can find the value of y as 1.5. Finally, when x equals 2, you are going to find a result as 2 plus 2y equals 4. So 2y equals 2, and in this case the value of y will be 1. So we are going to plot the table as follows. As x equals 0, y equals 2. As x equals 1, y equals 1.5. And when x equals 2, the value of y will be 1. Try to plot the graph for such an equation. And then, when y equals 2x minus 3, I want to represent this relation graphically. So we are going to substitute for the values of x. When x equals 0, then y equals 2 times 0 minus 3 to obtain a result as 0 minus 3, which gives negative 3. What about the value of y when x equals 1? Yes, when x equals 1, so it is y equals 2 times 1 minus 3 to obtain a result as 2 minus 3, which gives negative 1. So the value of y will be negative 1. Then finally, when x equals 2, try to find the value of y. So y equals 2 times 2 minus 3 equals 4 minus 3 to obtain a result as 1. And in this case, we can say that y equals 1. Now try to plot the table. When x equals 0, y is negative 3. When x equals 1, y is negative 1. And when x equals 2, y equals 1. To plot these two tables graphically, you are going to find that the first relation gives 0 and 2, 1 and 1.5, and then 2 and 1. Join them together, you obtain a straight line like that in front of you. What about the other table? Yes, when x equals 0, y equals negative 3. When x equals 1, y equals negative 1. And finally, when x equals 2, y equals 1. Join them together, you obtain another straight line. you are going to notice that these two straight lines are intersecting at only one point, which is represented by the point 2 and 1. So in this case, we can say that the point of intersection of the two straight lines is 2 and 1. And this is only one solution, only one point of intersection, so it is only one solution. And in this case, we can say that the solution set of the equations is 2 and 1 in an order pair as they are the values of x and y, and then as a set as it is a solution set. Let us have another example. Find the solution set of the two equations 2x plus y equals 4 and 2y plus 4x equals 6 graphically. First of all, I want you to notice that when, for the first equation, when x equals 0, then 2 times 0 plus y equals 4. When so y equals 4. Then when x equals 1, by substituting it is 2 times 1 plus y equals 4. Then y is going to be equal 2. And finally, then when x equals 2, so 2 times 2 plus y equals 4. And by substituting, you are going to find that the value of y equals 0. Then you are going to notice that when x equals 0, y equals 4. When x equals 1, y equals 2. And when x equals 2, y equals 0. This is the first equation. What about the second equation? 2y plus 4x equals 6. Then, by substituting for the values of x to obtain values of y, you are going to find that when x equals 0, y equals 3. When x equals 1, by the same way, 4 times 1 equals 4, then 2y equals 6 minus 4 equals 2, then y equals 1. And when x equals 2, to find the value of y, so substitute for x equals 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. So 2y equals 6 minus 8 equals negative 2. And in this case, the y will be negative 1. To plot these two tables graphically, you are going to notice that the first table, which is 0 and 4, the first point, 1 and 2, and 2 and 0. Try to join them all together to obtain such a straight line. What about the other table? It is 0 and 3, 1 and 1, 2 and negative 1. Try to join them together. What are you going to notice? You are going to notice that these two straight lines are parallel. So there is no intersection point between them. And in this case, we can say that there is no solution as there is no common point. And here we can say that the solution set is going to be phi. And the two straight lines are parallel. So how many solutions? The number of solutions will be 0. And in this case, you are going to notice that there is a relation between the coefficients of x in both equations and the coefficients of y. How? Let us have an example. If the two straight lines, 2x minus 3y equals 5 and 6x plus ky equals 10 are parallel as the previous example, find the value of k. When the two straight lines are parallel, you are going to notice, of course, we have taken that their slopes are equal. Or you are going to notice that 2x becomes 6x, so it is multiplied by 3. The negative 3 is going also to be multiplied by 3 to obtain a result as negative 9. So 2x minus 3y equals 5. When multiplied by 3, you are going to obtain 6x plus negative 9y equals 15. Then, what about the value of k? Yes, the value of k will be negative 9. Let us have another example. Find the solution set of the two equations x plus y equals 3 and 2y plus 2x equals 6 graphically. The first equation is x plus y equals 3. We are going to plot the graph. So the table will be when x equals 0, y equals 3. When x equals 1, y equals 2. And when x equals 2, y is going to be 1. For the other equation, which is 2x plus 2y equals 6, when x equals 0, y will be 3. When x equals 1, y will be 2. And when x equals 2, y will be 1. Try to draw these two straight lines. 0 and 3, the first point. The second one is 1 and 2, and the third one is 2 and 1. Try to join them all together to obtain such a straight line. Then the other straight line is 0 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 1. You are going to notice that the second straight line is coinciding with the first one. What's the meaning of coinciding? It means that they will appear as one straight line. They are on each other, over each other. So they appear as one straight line. In this case, we can say that these two straight lines are coinciding. And as they are coinciding, that there are many, many points which are satisfying the first and the second line at the same time. So we can say that there are infinite number of solutions as the two straight lines are the same straight line. Then let us have an example. If there are infinite number of solutions for the two straight lines, x plus 2y equals 1 and 2x plus ky equals 2, then k equals what? X becomes 2x, 2y becomes ky. As x becomes 2x, it is multiplied by 2. So 2y multiplied by 2 gives what? 4. So the value of k will be 4. In this case, I want you to notice that. What's the difference between the parallel lines and the coinciding lines? The parallel lines, x is multiplied by a constant number gives x, y is multiplied by the same constant number equals y, but the constants are going to be different. But in the case of coinciding, when you multiply the constant by this constant number, you are going to obtain the same result. Now, let us see how can we solve two equations of the first degree in two variables, but in this case, we are going to solve them algebraically. In algebra, we are not going to drop a graph to find the solution set. We want to find them algebraically. To find them algebraically, you have two ways. One is called the substituting method, and the other is called the omitting method. Both are correct. You can choose what you like in solving such example in the exam. And there is no difference in the answers, of course. You are going to obtain the same answer by using the two methods. First of all, we are going to use the substituting method. You have x plus 2y equals 4 and 2x minus y equals 3. How can you solve them algebraically? First of all, by substituting method, as x plus 2y equals 4, you can find the value of x as its coefficient is 1. So x equals 4 minus 2y. By taking the value of x as 4 minus 2y and substituting by it in the other equation, which is 2x minus y equals 3, so you are going to find that. That's correct. 2 multiplied by 4 minus 2y minus y equals 3. Then we can say that by multiplying 8 minus 4y minus y equals 3. By collecting like terms, so 8 minus 5y equals 3. Then 5y equals 8 minus 3 equals 5. So 5y equals 5, then the value of y will be 1. Now you have found the value of y as 1 by substituting in any of the two equations to find the value of x. So x equals 4 minus 2 times 1 equals 4 minus 2, which gives 2. And in this case, we can say that the solution set of such an equation is 2 and 1 in an ordered pair, as they are the values of x and y. This is by using the substituting method. How can we find the solution set of these two equations algebraically, but by using the other method, which is the omitting method? First of all, you have 2x minus y equals 3, and the other equation, x plus 2y equals 4. We are going to multiply this equation by 2. All the terms of the equation. So 2x times 2 equals 4x, minus 2 times y equals 2y, equals 3 times 2 gives 6. Then the other equation is x plus 2y equals 4. So we are going to write it as it is. Look carefully to the two equations. 4x minus 2y equals 6 and x plus 2y equals 4. If you add these two equations all together, you are going to find that negative 2y plus 2y are additive inverse of each other. So their sum is b, 0. Then 4x plus x gives 5x equals 6 plus 4 equals 10. And the negative 2y plus 2y are omitted with each other. In this case, we can say that the value of x equals 2. And then by substituting for the value of x equals 2 in any of the two equations, you are going to find that 2y plus 2 equals 4. Then 2y equals 4 minus 2 gives 2. And in this case, we are going to find that y equals 1. So the solution set of such two equations is 2 and 1. By the end of this example, we reached the end of our lesson today. I wish that all of you understood the lesson, and we'll meet next lesson, inshallah. Thank you and goodbye.